The resignation clause. He called me into his office on a Thursday morning, the same office where I'd spent 6 years earning his approval, signing deals, rewriting contracts, fixing his mistakes before they ever reached the boardroom. Now he wouldn't even meet my eyes. "Ryan," he said, tapping his Mont Blanc against the desk, "we've decided to give the senior partner position to Lily. She's shown great promise." 4 weeks. That's how long she'd been here. 4 weeks of flashing a charming smile, stumbling through clauses I'd written, and calling him Uncle Charles in a tone that made the staff roll their eyes. My jaw didn't move. My pulse didn't rise. "Of course," I said, with a calmness that even surprised me. "Congratulations to Lily." He smiled, relieved perhaps. He expected anger, maybe even pleading. Instead, I offered him something far worse: peace. Later that day, I printed my resignation letter. 1 page. No drama, no explanation. When I placed it on his mahogany desk, he looked up slowly, disbelief tightening his face. "You can't be serious?" His voice cracked, red blooming across his cheeks. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" I watched him struggle for control, his hands gripping the armrest. I gave him a calm smile. "This is me repaying you," I said softly, "fully." He didn't understand. Not yet, but he would. Soon. The betrayal hadn't started today. It had been growing quietly, like mold beneath the wallpaper. 6 years ago, when I married his daughter, Emily, I thought I was marrying up, into class, wealth, and power. What I didn't realize was that I was also stepping into a hierarchy built on ownership. Charles never saw me as family, just an investment. Emily was the dividend. For years, I swallowed his corrections, his advice, his thinly veiled contempt. I worked weekends while Emily went on charity trips that never seemed to have photos. Her perfume began to change. Her laughter, sharper, rehearsed. I'd hear her phone buzz late at night, and she'd turn it face down on the nightstand, eyes closing too quickly. But I was busy building something, a future, a legacy under his firm's banner. Until last week when I saw something I wasn't meant to. A transfer request in the company's finance system. Lily Wexler, promoted to senior partner. Submitted by Charles Morrison. Approved by Emily Morrison. Her signature. My wife had signed off on my replacement. It wasn't just a professional betrayal. It was familial, a triangle of deceit wrapped in corporate legality. I stared at the screen until the cursor blinked back at me, like it was mocking me. I didn't confront them, not yet. I simply printed a copy and slid it into my briefcase. That was the night I started planning. In law, power isn't about truth, it's about timing. So I waited, quietly, observing. Lily's laughter in the halls, Emily's late arrivals, Charles's condescending pats on my shoulder. They thought I was defeated. I smiled. I agreed. I played my part perfectly. But at home, I began collecting. Emails, transaction logs, contract drafts, anything that tied Charles's side investments to properties listed under shell companies he used to avoid taxes. It wasn't hard. He trusted me more than anyone. And Emily trusted her password manager a little too much. By the 3rd night, I had more than enough to dismantle his empire. I copied everything onto a drive, encrypted, dated, signed. Then I prepared a secondary file, a letter, written in my resignation's shadow, a simple legal summary of his misconduct, addressed to the state bar, with supporting evidence attached. Not to send, not yet. Timing, always timing. Lily received her official appointment email on Tuesday morning. A photo followed, she and Charles shaking hands, Emily beside them, champagne in the background. 3 smiles, all hollow. I remember staring at that photo during lunch, my fork unmoving. The world around me blurred, the chatter, the clinking of cutlery. All I could hear was a faint ringing in my ears. Not rage, not sadness, just silence. That was the moment I knew I was done pretending. The resignation letter was printed that night, but my plan, my real resignation, was already in motion. When I placed the envelope on his desk the next morning, I already knew how it would play out. Charles would rage. Emily would plead. Lily would stay quiet. Predictable, all of them. But I didn't expect the flicker of fear that crossed his face when he read the second page folded beneath the resignation letter. It wasn't supposed to be there. Not to him, not yet. He read the heading twice before speaking. Confidential Legal Summary. Unauthorized Transactions, Morrison Holdings. His face turned white. "Where did you get this?" His voice broke. This is private firm data, Ryan. You have no idea what you're doing." "Oh," I said, voice steady. "I know exactly what I'm doing." He slammed the papers on the desk. "You're threatening me? After I made you?" I leaned forward slightly. "You didn't make me. You used me." He stood, chest heaving, the CEO mask slipping for the first time in years. "Emily will never forgive you for this," he spat. I almost laughed. "Emily approved Lily's promotion," I said quietly. "She's already chosen which side she's on." The silence that followed was suffocating. He sat back down slowly, his rage giving way to realization. I'd beaten him. Not through power, through proof. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten. I simply slid the envelope toward him, the real one this time. "Inside," I said, "is a copy of my resignation. The other copy goes to HR, along with the files." He froze. "You wouldn't." "I already did." He opened the envelope, hands trembling. A flash drive slipped out, silver, engraved with the firm's initials. I watched his throat tighten. His lips parted, but no words came. "You can fire me," I continued. "You can blackball me from every firm in the city, but you can't erase what's already been sent." "What did you send?" he whispered. I tilted my head slightly. "The truth." For a moment, the only sound in the room was the ticking clock. Then, as I stood to leave, I heard the faint crack in his composure, a sound halfway between a growl and a plea. "You'll regret this, Ryan." I paused at the door. "Maybe," I said, "but you'll regret it first." When I stepped out, Lily was at reception, smiling as she signed a delivery form, her first day as senior partner. "Congratulations," I said, passing by. She looked up, caught off guard by my tone. I didn't stop walking. It's been 3 weeks since I left Morrison Holdings. The news broke 2 days after my resignation became public. Law firm CEO under investigation for fraudulent transactions. The article used words like breach of fiduciary duty, embezzlement, false reporting. They didn't use his name at first, but everyone knew. The Bar Association followed. His license was suspended pending review. Lily resigned quietly. Emily filed for separation. I didn't answer her call. I didn't need to. I'd already spoken through action, through silence, through the calm smile that had haunted them all since the day I walked out. Now I paint again. Not buildings or portraits, just empty rooms. Light through half-open blinds, shadows against walls. Stillness. There's peace in emptiness, control in letting go. Sometimes I wonder if he still sees my face when he closes his eyes, if he hears the click of that flash drive every time the clock ticks. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. It doesn't matter, because I'm not his employee anymore, not his son-in-law, not his pawn. I'm just the ghost that wrote his ending, and for the first time in 6 years, I don't owe anyone a damn thing.